Yo, what's up guys? Finally got the face cam working. We're back. New videos coming in. We're about to, it's gonna get crazy. Content's gonna be crazy. Gonna be new uploads, new everything, new streams, all that. But today, we're not gonna waste too much time. Today we're gonna talk about an analysis on the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 official trailer. Now, I gotta say, I am pretty excited. Mainly because after the first movie, like I don't hate that movie, but I'm saying a sequel would definitely be interesting, but also kind of concerning, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being excited for these movies, but I'm at a point where I'm more concerned for, a sequel and what's going to happen and all that. So if I find a bunch of lint on the ground that could pay for my ticket, I will go see this once it's out and somewhere in December. But let's not waste too much time. We're gonna analyze the trailer official analysis. I will link the original trailer if you want to hear the audio. So we'll start off right here. So the first scene we got here, we got a van. It's like some type of van. I guess it's like a spooky van or a Scooby-Doo van. Maybe it's a ghost hunting van. I mean, it makes sense for Five Nights at Freddy's because they do exist as remnants. Maybe it's called remnant hunters. Hey, that's a good idea right there. A dark comedy, or maybe not. Maybe a dark adventure. Remnant busters. That's a good rip-off. You can make some money off of that. But yeah, anyways, you can see here they got perfect red lights. It means that the car is slowing down, and it's something you got to know, especially if you haven't been. No, not if you haven't been. Let me restate that. If you have started driving, you notice that the red lights are on whenever a car is slowing down or stopping. So it's something to be aware of. As you can see, they just did a little camera or an editing technique where you blacken the screen to cut to the next scene, and it gives a spooky effect, which just makes sense because Five Nights at Freddy's is a horror franchise with horror games. Anyways, we got our hunters over here. They got a flashlight. It's like a tree of a vine growing on a light. I mean, this light's pretty good if it's supposed to be old, with even a freaking vine wrapping around it. It's pretty stable, which is pretty surprising. What else? Yeah, so the car looks to be pretty old, so obviously I remember this movie takes place early 2000s, I don't know, late 90s from what I recall from the phones and the way things were done, even the job search from the first movie with the main character. He had to search for a job at a place instead of on a computer, so it's definitely olden times. Well, for about 30 years from measuring from today of July 25th, 2025, say 1995. All right, they're going out. They're gonna go bust down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. This is one of the locations from the second game, Five Nights at Freddy's, because of the mascot. Now that's an interesting take on the mascot. Excuse me. Now I would compare it to another mascot, but I'm gonna make that for a short video. But I gotta say, this is pretty interesting because it's got more characters. Freddy's got his friends all over here, and it's pretty nice. Just there's no what's it called? Mangled. It's not mangled, but it's like of Playtime Foxy. Yeah, Playtime Foxy. Yeah. Guess she didn't make the cut on the poster, the board, the thing. But this is actually way too fancy for a kid's pizzeria. I mean, I've seen Chuck E. Cheese, and I remember old Chuck E. Cheese. It wasn't this fancy. And, I mean, especially for the new ones, but they got, like, what's it called? Minimalist design. It's looking like an Apple building, but, this is pretty interesting because it's very scary because it's all old and grown with grass. Look at all the grass around here. Yeah, so it must have had, maybe before the place was shut down, or no, when it was shut down, a theory could be that somebody planted grass all over the place that grows, and that's why there's so much grass. which explains the whole grass situation we got going on here. So we got one of the new characters, Kenna Grace, an actress. She's very hyped. I've seen the social media says she's very hyped about FNAF, and I've heard other people are in it. All I know is I remember the Scream movie. They had Matthew Lillard, who was Shaggy, and his good friend Skeet, who's coming back or joining his friend Shaggy in the Five Nights at Freddy's movies. So it's pretty interesting to see what they're gonna do with Skeet. But if we look here, it looks like a Disneyland ride, and the context of this restaurant is that it's supposed to be the oldest location ever, and it had enough money to, I guess, maybe renovate later a whole Disney ride inside the restaurant with the lazy river. And the first place we saw, it wasn't too big, but it wasn't too small, but had a lot of stuff. But it seems like they went on a downgrade, because look, they got a freaking lazy river right here. That's actually pretty impressive for Shaggy to do with maybe his friend Skeet. Who knows? You know, maybe Skeet is secretly Snoke. Maybe that's the theory. Snoke will be revealed to be a dimensional traveler who used to go by Skeet and worked on FNAF animatronics before going to the Star Wars universe and being in there before, I guess, all the events of the Star Wars movies. But I guess that's just a theory. But looks like a giant flashlight from the lamp. You know, it's subtle foreshadowing for flashlights. You know, you use it a lot in the games. Well, at least in 2 of them. Okay. There were some scenes right here. We got the enragement child, and I don't know how this is gonna be an animatronic. Look, it's like a plastic cup. Doesn't look like it can move much, but and its eyes, it's got a lazy eye. So yeah, who knows how the balloon boy is gonna work, or the enragement child. Here we have Toy Chica covered in plastic wraps for not so obvious reasons, if you know what I'm talking about. Ha ha ha, wink wink, nudge nudge. But I mean, it's not scary. I can see the eyelashes right here. That's a pretty interesting detail. Maybe that has something to do with the movie. It's a setup. The eyelashes will come back for the movie. You can trust the process. Look at this camera. It's high quality. Man, the Blair Witch characters can eat their heart out, because they never had a camera like this. Dang. Here we got big back Freddy. Big back Freddy we got right here. You see his 8 teeth, you know, because couldn't pay for more. There's the puppet. There's another big back Freddy who's slimmed down for the puppet for obvious reasons. Here we have the puppet who's smiling. And from what I recalled, I don't know if the puppet was ever smiling in the games. Maybe as a nightmare in the 4th game. But they have to. There must be a good reason why the puppet is smiling as a plushie, as a a marketable plushie. You know, because for the most part, it's always sad or just angry or just mean looking. It's spooky and terrifying looking. Even in like a fan game like Five Nights at Candy's, it's just permanently depressed. Just no smiling. No red. It's all any purple that blends in with the white, or not blends in, but it's on top of it to give that spooky, upsetting darkness to resonate with the gamers. But yeah, there's probably gonna explain this part of the movie, which is very important to the story. There's the lazy river. Okay, we got lazy river. Yeah, look at that. It's actually a lazy river with bigger hallways. This is probably like a backroom section, because look, you can see there's like a red curtain. Maybe it's in the backstage where the robots come from. There's the stairs. Let's see here. Yeah, it's got stairs. You got old-timey doors, which makes sense because this is the first restaurant. You got vents. You got breathe. Flashlight. It's been opened. It's supposed to lead down to the sewers, and no, it leads into a clock room, I guess. I'm guessing these gears are supposed to be for Mangled. which kind of doesn't make any sense because Mango's not, or the marionette, the Mario puppet is not like a clock. You know, like in that movie Hugo. That's just reminding me of the Hugo movie with the clock and the gears. So we got the character going in here, and this seems oddly not actually convenient. Not really. I don't even know what that word means, but you can see right here is a conveniently big present. Now I know this building's abandoned, and free presents are free presents, but if anything, since this is an abandoned restaurant with pizza and robots and just a place, a place marketed for kids to be at that's not a daycare, I wouldn't trust this thing. This character's going. They got bricks. They got shower heads over here. This is definitely going to be an important part of the movie. Oh, that's why there were two lines. The box doesn't even open properly. It opens to like a split in the middle. This is getting pretty interesting. This is actually pretty horrifying because boxes, they usually with the top, you gotta slide the top up, and then you can check out the present, like in Polar Express with the bell. So this right here, this is horrifying to look at. There has to be a good explanation for this. Also, is that box big? And clearly from her reaction, that must be something scary in that box, Gotta say, maybe if they show what it is, you might need to cover your eyes because it might be too scary, Like nobody needs to suffer through, pain and misery. You gotta be smart about it, not hard about it. Pause. Okay, so we got this is Vanessa right here, not the rabbit. There's Michael, there's Pikel over here, and then there's Dykel over here. Very important characters are going to be mentioned in the movie, like a whole Avengers cast. As you see, this is probably their headquarters. Some type of Italian restaurant. I can tell by the bread. Right here, look, it's Italian salad, pretty good. You got two raw tomatoes, which shows character from the characters from the last movie that they're raw people who eat raw things like whole tomatoes, stem included, and they're probably going to evolve to start eating dirt, because they're raw like that, dealing with robots and stuff. There you have Michael right here. He's got a new haircut. This window, it's a bunch of X's. It's like X's represent death. In Five Nights at Freddy's, when you die, you die and it's game over. It's like an X. This is definitely going to come into play later with these blinds as well. He's probably going to steal these for his home, because he's kind of homeless, but at the same time not homeless. But he's kind of poor, but he's just trying to make his way through make a living. So it's definitely going to come in later. Okay, that was a flat. Oh my gosh, what the fuck is wrong? Okay, here we go. So there's a flashback to the first movie. That's Golden Freddy, who doesn't look as golden. Looks like Killer Bean. She's sleeping. She's thinking about the old place and the old robots. Oh, there he was. There's Shaggy. He's coming back. I didn't think it would get spring locked so soon, but hey, sucks to be Shaggy, man. I'm not gonna say he doesn't deserve it, but they could have at least waited until the third movie. But yeah, who am I to judge? Who am I to say what these movies do or not, But very interesting. He's got blinking lights. The batteries must have not gone out, which means that this suit was still in use because somebody had to replace the batteries, obviously. And this knife, it's not a plastic knife. It looks plastic, but it's intentionally designed to look like a plastic knife, but was a very the sharpest knife in history, used to kill children. Which is also a funny thing about Five Nights at Freddy's, especially these movies. If they're not gonna go rated R, they're gonna go PG so that kids can watch this movie to make money off of them. But the whole franchise is about, a killer killing kids in a restaurant. It's pretty funny, funny stuff, but it's still horrifying and definitely a very important thing. All right, so as you can see here, their home base. It looks like they're very nice to invite other people like Pikel and Dykel. So they must have upgraded, might have got some welfare checks to pay for this house, and you can see it's got nice little candle lights up here. It's keeps it from keeping the room stale. You got a bunch of alcohol. Obviously, you can't drink it because it's a kids movie, and we can't support alcoholism, or you'll disappoint the fans. So we got Michael over here. He's got a nice glass of water. Nice bread though, man. Wish I had powers so I could just grab the bread, eat it for myself. It's pretty nice. We got flowers here, nice little flowers. Michael probably got them as a gift from Vanessa, or Vanessa vice forward, or maybe Pikel gave it to them both because he was a very nice man to appreciate the stay from their big restaurant house, which is their house, not a separate restaurant. So they're talking, and then we got Abby, who's not Baby at this point. They could introduce Circus Baby later, and she dies, but we'll see if they have what it takes to, kill kids on screen, because it's obviously a rule in Hollywood that you can't kill kids unless you're unless you like the Postal movie and you decide I want to make a classic piece of art. But as you can see here, Abby's got this is a reference to the games. Look, 4 stars. She doesn't even work at the place, but she's got 4 stars because if you play Five Nights at Freddy's video games from the originals and you beat extra nights that aren't just Five Nights at Freddy's, you get stars. So that means Abby was playing Five Nights at Freddy's and at an arcade machine and won and was able to get 4 stars, which is pretty impressive for a freaking small child. She's going to pre-K now, I guess. But what's more impressive is that she's got the Iron Man curse or powers. Because look, she's starting to build things. Look, she's got duct tape right here. It's a ruler. It's this wires. So it's like they're taking her character and making her interested in animatronics because of her bond with the other animatronics from the last movie, because they were trapped remnant souls of kids. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting thing going on here. As you can see, you've got a toy model. This is probably a model kit. It's going to come out later. Going to be sold for like $500 and people are going to buy it. Die-hard fans will buy it. What else we got here? We got a tree. The classic tree from Five Nights at Freddy's World. It's probably like Q-tips, like metal Q-tips. If you stick them in your ear, you'll bleed and stuff. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's a rabbit. Foreshadowing. Shadow Rabbit, White Rabbit, The Matrix. A Matrix reference. Because movies do that now. They just reference other movies because that's what Hollywood thinks it's all about. When it's not about that. It's all about not referencing things. It's about just putting things in your movie, like this White Rabbit right here. But it could mean something deeper, You gotta read the philosophical books, You gotta read the books. As you see, we got some fan art here. I can't criticize here and be like, oh, this is terrible, because this is actually pretty good. And I know a lot of other fan arts where people put more time into it, they go digital. But if you think about it, whoever made this was actually an art savant, a genius. Look, they even got Vanessa. That is omniscient. Imagine if you lived in the Five Nights at Freddy's world. You could make fan art, but people wouldn't probably be interested unless they're, probably on some 90s online forums expressing their art in the internet or interwebs, or maybe they're trying to make a quick buck by just selling off-brand merch. But nobody would probably be doing that. And look, going off of no references. You see this? That's Vanessa. Somebody actually drew Vanessa instead of animatronics, and they were able to get the ponytail, blonde hair, the accurate physique, impressive stuff. But even crazier is that now, if you notice, Chica doesn't have her beak or her eyes. So this is foreshadowing that Chica's literally gonna take her beak off and take out her eyes and keep the eyebrows and no lashes. This is definitely coming. This is important. This is going to be important later in the movie. So impressive artwork. There's a flashback with the old animatronics from the original place. Look at that closely. That looks different. Hold on. Gotta do some research here. Here we go, yeah. It's kind of different. Yep, kind of different. Yep. Look at that, look at that. Yep. Zoom in on that. Zoom in. Yep, different. No lights. Different bricks. No clouds. Yeah, this is probably a reference to the first game, you know, because the first game is probably canon. And, you know, Mike Schmidt is a different guy than Michael Afton. Oh, wait, maybe Mike Schmidt is also the main character. Anyways, here's a door. It's like early 90s, late 90s. You see it's got flowers. So it looks like Abby has a fish. This will come back into play later, like Fishy the fish animatronic, foreshadowing for the third movie. And it looks like she's playing with a Freddy Fazbear thing. It's not a leapfrog, it's not an iPad, which is a shame because, you know, the iPad will keep the kid distracted. But it looks like they can't do that, or she wouldn't be able to get the chance. But I don't know. It's pretty interesting that they had enough money to make leapfrogs. Or oh wait, no, okay, the Talker. Yeah, no, Fast Talker, not Talker. I'm just trolling. So it's like a Ouija board. Okay, less possessive, but more. It's like it works like an actual phone, but they probably talk to ghost kids or Toy Freddy over here. Shoot, man. You gotta feel bad for the child. I mean, who would want to talk to Toy Freddy, honestly? Like, no offense to Toy Freddy, he's a great guy, great character. You know, just scaring you and trying to get you killed in the games, but there's no need to talk to him, especially through the microphone. That's a play on words. A speaker, that's a microphone, and a microphone's a speaker. That's a bow tie. That's a bow tie. Yeah. That's a bow tie. Anyways, this is a house. Not the most expensive house, but it looks expensive with all these bricks laying around. With the three little piggies and the big bad wolf. It's a good story. Man, what I gotta see that movie, man. The three little pigs and the big bad wolf, that movie would be awesome. You know what? I'm making that movie. I'll make it soon. One day, probably not soon, can't promise, but three little pigs and the big bad wolf, that would be the greatest movie of all time. Make the most money, it would change everything. It's gonna breaking all the boundaries, man. Be awesome. That's a good pitch. Coming soon, my pitches. Anyways, just a ladder right here. Maybe an animatronic was maybe it was Balloon Boy trying to go into the attic, trying to steal somebody's will to the house, you know, because he doesn't want to be at Freddy's anymore because of all the grass. He's a grass hater. So you can see it's going off. Yeah, this is the Ouija board theory. So it is accurate. But maybe it's going to complain about I can't play mixtapes. Like, this is a mirror, not a CD player. And over here we got a CD player with a speaker. Which could play some epic tunes. And yeah, it's going to start probably just ranting. So I would want to say a spoiler. So I do apologize for spoiling the movie. That he's going to be ranting. That Toy Freddy, the Ouija board, is going to be ranting about how he can't play these speakers and is raging. So we got Abby here getting disturbed by her sleep. Now this is obviously a bad thing. It's obviously a message that's going to be spread to the parents and kids who watch this movie that obviously kids need good sleep. They need good rest. They can't have bad sleeping habits because, you know, in the future, like you don't want to hurt, you know. Like families gotta understand that, you know, not just kids, but when they grow older, they like even as an adult, they gotta have a good sleeping schedule. Like they have to. They always gotta have a good sleeping schedule, and that's probably gonna play a part in the themes in this movie is sleeping schedules, because you always gotta work late at night. But it's not your fault, you know, because the job market is very unpredictable, especially in the FNAF universe. You know, the animatronics are taking all the jobs, but it's no big deal. Good for them. Get that money. So look, oh man, and look at that. The freaking Ouija board is making Abby do job. She's probably not even gonna get paid to do his job, or he's gonna show something. See, we gotta take Toy Freddy accountable. All right, no offense, but you are a sucker. You're get child labor. All right. I can't look. We can't stand for this. All right. Like, look, kids, like, they don't deserve crap. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, it's like you don't have to make, you know, like they, like honestly, when it comes to child labor, don't do it. It's a horrible thing. Unless you got a good lawyer. If you have a good lawyer, do what you want. But as far as I'm concerned, just don't do it, man. It's not even worth the time. They're not even gonna look. They're not even going to do the job correctly. Like, they're kids. Like, kids are still learning. Like, you'll still be learning even when you're older. But like kids, like, they're not gonna obviously do the job. It's like by the time they're teenagers and moving on to being adults and less children age, then they can have the job, or you make them run errands. But yeah, kids, they're not gonna do the job right. If he wants her to file taxes, it's obviously gonna be go down the gutter. But let's continue. Let's not waste too much time. So here we're probably at the second place. This is pretty convenient, but at the same time, also bad luck. Because if they move to that not so expensive house with Mike and Abby, because Mike is the older brother of Abby and Abby's the little sister of Mike. If you really think about it, it's kind of bad luck that the second place happens to be right next or close to their new place of residence. But yeah, like when you got these buildings, you gotta take them down, or you gotta change them to like Chuck E. Cheese or something more safe. And so Peter Piper's Pizza's better, cause you can trust Peter Piper. Cause he got no animatronics, they just got pizza. And I want Peter Piper's right now, but I can't. You ain't got none near me. Tough. Just kidding. I would DoorDash, but I'm not DoorDashing. Anyways, yeah, very scary place. Is it a dartboard? I guess one of the animatronics is gonna have like gravity powers, and somebody's gonna have the gravity powers be used to make some cool epic fight scene where gravity gets distorted. It's like a whole Inception bit. You know, they're probably gonna leak that set from another YouTube channel, but I'm telling you, this might actually be the greatest movie of all time, because it's gonna have an epic karate fight scene. You know, somebody's gonna learn kung fu. Hopefully Mike, hopefully Vanessa, hopefully maybe Abby, maybe the new cast. Who knows? Maybe Skeet. Skeet knows karate. You got Abby there. It's a new location. Here, we'll do quick buy. Yeah, new location. The desks are bigger. No chairs. There's only those two chairs that look like that have a good little chair metal block with a rubber bit. It's a good thing too, because I remember earlier this year, went on vacation. I cut my freaking one of my my mini toe. The toe next to my pinky toe, I got cut from one of these stools. It's a pain in the butt. It's horrible. But yeah, I guess that's why there's no chairs. No need to be all sad about it. We got Toy Chica. Also, she's got the same computer parts as the new animatronics, I guess. It's all blue. Guess I got a blue hue, like the Rise of Skywalker. Somehow these movies all connect, even though Disney doesn't know Five Nights at Freddy's. Technically. Oh, and Toy Chica's angry, and her hair is going down. I guess it's the hair physics. Pretty advanced for an old animatronic to have hair physics, you know, or feather physics, but you know, and to show emotions. How can you show emotions as a robot? Well, animatronic that shows emotions to not scare the kids, but still pretty terrifying if you ask me. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be staring at Michael, probably because Toy Chica doesn't like the bad haircuts and the weird drawing. Is this a connection? It's blue. It's okay. This just looks like the Fantastic Four car. This is just okay. Now we're just getting into, I would say parody, but it's not parody. But this is just references, man. They all connect. So this has to take place. So Five Nights at Freddy's, the movies, take place after that Fantastic Four movie, because I heard that movie takes place in a different reality. So it's all just a big pile of mumbo jumbo, but still, the plot thickens, everybody. The plot thickens. And yeah, if Skeet is Snoke, there must be a weeping angel too. It's Doctor Who, Star Wars, it all connects. Man, all these deals. Hollywood is bro, what the frick is wrong with Hollywood? Alright, so we got this random guy. That's probably one of the McKenna Grace character ghost hunting pals getting trapped by a nunchuck, I guess. Yeah, a nunchuck, right? It's a nunchuck with a broken ceiling. Yeah, it's a nunchuck. Get me taken down. Well, not a nunchuck, but I know my old favorite animatronic was the endoskeleton from the second game. I mean, it's gotta be some type of reference, but still pretty cool, but also pretty scary. I'm scared right now. You can tell by my horrified expression. Oh yeah, it is endoskeleton. I saw that. Nice. Good to see him. Look at him. Look at him. Yellow teeth and missing only one. Not too bad for an old animatronic from the first place, you know? Good for you. This is where called evil. I want to see that scene. I really want to see when this comes to play, you know? Like maybe it's a scene like maybe it's like The Shining, where they have the transitions with the little Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe this is what's gonna happen during the movie. It's gonna have evil. This is probably my favorite scene of the whole. It's gonna be my favorite scene when I see the movie. As you can see right there, that's probably a school, because it doesn't look like the freaking animatronic place. And why would there be stairs with glass doors? I think that's Vanessa. Yeah, I guess there's a hole in the ceiling. Look at those hands. It's probably salad fingers too. Salad fingers, shadow salad fingers. Bro, the plot thickens. They got money. They spent their money a lot on this freaking movie. Look, the random garage. Car needs repairs. Toy Freddy's gonna save the day, redeem himself. My expectations have been subverted. Bikes. Is that? Yeah, that's either Sparky the dog, or maybe that's what's his name? It's a flashback to Shaggy's killing kids days. Pretty interesting. That's the marionette, who is, I guess, just walking around. You know, you could just do that whenever nobody, you know, winds the box. You just walk around and just walk around and stuff, and not be tied to strings. Like her name's Ultron. Okay, this toy, what the frick is that? Yeah, that's freaking Toy Bonnie. I guess he's gonna cook something. I guess I don't know what he's cooking. I don't want to know. There we have a Freddy's convention. Maybe it's Legos. It's more interesting, but I don't know. Yeah, just kids. Look at this guy, Toy Bonnie, representing Toy Bonnie. Hey, I have to commend that you want to respect Toy Bonnie, despite all the stuff he's done to all of us. We're playing the second game. If you know, you know. If you got attacked by him and lost many times to Toy Bonnie, you know. So I guess, yeah, look, there he is. He's just walking around in public. Nobody cares. It's expected, because, you know, if a robot was walking in public, or an animatronic, nobody would care. Even if it starts killing people, nobody's gonna care. It'll probably be on the news, but nobody's gonna care. There's the lazy river. Callback. Quick shot, yep. There's Mangled, or Toy Foxy. Oh look, there's the moon. Yeah, this is probably the most important part of the scene. You got Chevy deals. You're probably gonna see some Chevy deals, some Chevy commercials with animatronics. You'll definitely see that. It like, hey, if you see Chevy make some commercials with the FNAF animatronics like it's Transformers, you know why. There he is. There's our good pal. I can't be forgetting his name right now. Shaggy. There he is. He seems to be doing good. Even if this is not a flashback, he's doing pretty good because he's limping when he got stabbed in the freaking abdomens. That was him again. I guess he wants to go console his daughter in therapy, which is pretty commendable. You know, redemption comes a long way. I mean, some people can't see you as getting a second chance, and yeah, that's commendable effort, I guess. Alright, I guess the therapy session might have gone wrong and she's gonna pull a gun out on good old Shaggy. This is the old Foxy. This is your teaser, Withered Foxy. Probably gonna jump on the screen for the 3D moment. All the kids are gonna be scared, everybody's gonna be scared, but it's not gonna be jumping on the screen onto the audience. It's probably gonna be a real animatronic attacking the audience. So if you see breaking news of early screen tests of this movie and people die because they got lounged at by a robot fox, you know what's up. Animatronic fox. No lashes. Tough. That must have been Toy Chica at a school. Connects with that one scene, which is obviously not the restaurant. Yep, again. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's a black screen. It's at a school, obviously, in the last scene. Maybe that's another theory. Maybe Shaggy was not road raging, but just felt like pushing the speed limit and accidentally hit a child and then hit the speed limit pole, which would be hilarious to see. And if they show that, that would be awesome. So, if anybody who's watching this and you're gonna be one of the people to see the early screening tests of FNAF 2 movie, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie, if that scene comes up, do not complain about it like you did with the Superman dog punching scene. I would definitely love to see that. It would be the funniest movie of all time, and I'd give it a 5-star on Yelp or Letterboxd or whatever. I'm not using that, bro. What the frick? I'll give a accurate criticism. I'm not a critic. I'm just a smart man with the smart things. So these glasses, obviously Oakley, not Oakley, because they broke easily. Shout out Oakley. Oakley, sponsor me. I'd like some new glasses. Oakley. Oh. I'm not tired, folks. I'm using 100% of my brain right now. Look, tear gas coming into play. Five Nights at Freddy's tear gas. Five Nights at Tear Gas. That's my new game, everybody. Coming soon. I'm gonna be putting it on Scratch. It's gonna be on Game Jolt. I'm making that right after this video gets uploaded. Five Nights at Tear Gas. Next hit game. Oh no, he got a job. He got a job working at the second place or first place in reality, but sucks to suck, Michael. Hey, it is what it is. You gotta get that money. You just have to get that money. But look on the bright side. At least it's not like one of the fan games. Maybe they could pay you better at spending 5 nights at the Illuminati, but what do I know? Just got the office. There's the freaking fantastic poster. Shining his flashlight. It came back to play. Foreshadowing. Well, not foreshadowing the mask, but this is a pretty interesting detail because I always thought the mask would have the ears and the hat on, but the hat is kind of a separate accessory. Accessory from the animatronic, and the ears are connected to the skeleton, so this makes perfect sense. But if you look at it, it's the old version, right? So yeah, look at it. It's got damages on the eyes and stuff. And watch 2 coming into play later. Don't know how, don't know when, don't know why. With the laptop bag. There we go. So you got Shauna Withered Chica, who looks absolutely disgusting. Put it on the mask. Second last moment. Yeah, look at that. Absolutely horrifying, bro. Can't wait for Phantom Chica. Look more tasty. Look like a watermelon, but those eyes are huge. Man. 5 feet, 10 feet away, please, at all times. Okay, Mike is struggling, but it's okay. He's gonna make it because Chica's old, but it's not an offensive thing. Just, you know, happens when you're an old animatronic. You gotta keep them at the retirement homes and make sure they don't leave. So we'll see how Mike does that as the hero. There's a little jump cut. You got Curious, yeah. Hey, go. Yeah, you gotta take it to the old folks' home, man. Gotta take care of these robots for a bonus, you know. And then here we have withered Bonnie here. Old Bonnie. Broken, no top jaw. And blue eyes instead of red could be a hero, but I'm not complaining about these designs really. But pretty interesting. It looks like a little jaw up here. You see? It's a mini jaw. It's gonna close the whole thing up. Pretty spooky. Got the hands, which is pretty interesting. You know, it's gonna come into play later, as I've said multiple times during this long ass video. And then there's the title reveal. Find It's Freddy Sue, and it should be over. Yeah, December 5th. Okay.